He's going to be on the left with a deck near and dear to my heart, green-red aggro, the deck I am playing online right now. I mean, pretty standard stuff, birds, elves, Strangleroot guys, Huntmasters, Zeniths, and all that good stuff. And, of course, Bonfire of the Damned, because come on.
Yeah, he's got a couple Thundermaw Hellkites in there, buddy, for you.
Yeah, he's got a few Thundermaw Hellkites, 2 in his main deck hiding out. He's also got some Wolfare Avengers, which hasn't seen a lot of play recently. So he's going to be against Nyapod by Darwin. Anything special in his deck list, Glenn?
Not really. He's got like the one Oblivion Ring. He's going with the Elvish Visionaries over Strangleroot Geists, which is a decision Patrick and I were talking about. So other than that, it's a pretty conventional list from the looks of it.
Okay. I can't tell. We are getting glared right in next week. I'm going to assume that's a 1-mana guy. Okay, it's either a bird or an elf. But we're going to see Birthing Pod on
That's a
Darwin's
Llanowar Elves
side.
up top.
That's
sure.
Llanowar Elves? Okay.
Anson-matic style.
Oh, wow, you are good.
I am good.
You are good. Okay.
I'm the nutblade with the card images.
All right, that's fair.
Got turn 2 Birthing Pod from Darwin Boy.
And so I know we've had a green-red versus pod matchup before. Pod is one of the most important cards because it's the way for these green-red decks to get an advantage that a non-pod deck can keep up with. So he has the pod early. We'll see what he's going to be able to do with it. It normally takes about 2 activations for things to get out of control. So hopefully, Devin will be able to keep up with it.
I know that Michael Hetrick regarding Rug Pod said that virtually every time he turned 2 Birthing Podded, he won the game.
Yeah.
So that's how strong it can be.
Yeah, I mean, it is that powerful of a card. I mean, does it cost life? Yes. You know, it costs life to cast, can cost life to activate, all of that stuff, but it is that powerful.
Huntmaster probably here? Yep.
The Lumberjack is here.
Did the glare make that hard for you?
No, I was good. I was good on that
good
one.
on the
Thank
Huntmaster.
you. Eyes were ready. Huntmaster is going to put him up to 17. It's going to negate some of the damage that was done as well. And it's also going to create a nice wall, of course, for the Strangleroot Geist and this Llanowar Elf. So it's a slow draw. That was a hope it's a bonfire draw, is what that was.
But it was a Dismember, so not so bad.
Dismember's not terrible. Looking at Devin's deck list, as far as what 5s he can go to, from the 4 to 5 range with his Birthing Pod, there's a Thragtusk here, there's also 2 Thundermaw Hellkites, and there's 1 Wolfare Silverheart.
Sure.
And if we've seen anything over the course of the day, Wolfare Silverheart is the mere breaker. So taking care of that Huntmaster of the Fells is a way to stop that.
to do it. We have a Forest Crag, and we tapped our red source. We have another Crag, so that's not so bad. We're going to attack first. No trade with the Wolf token.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't really see him trading this for half of a Strangleroot Geist.
Yeah.
Another Crag here, and just a pass
Looks
back.
like, are those 2 Thundermaw Hellkites?
Yes.
Oh, lordy.
It could be showtime at the Apollo next
I think
turn.
we know how Devin's next couple turns are going.
I mean, if he has the 5th land...
I think he does. I think he has a 3rd Crag, actually.
If he has the 4th land and the Llanowar Elf does not die, then this is going to work out well. And what's even more important, obviously a 5/5 Hasting Dragon is nothing to ignore. But I think killing that Bird of Paradise is also going to be pretty relevant too.
Yep. Darwin looks like he's going to pod for 2 here, is my guess. Turning the birds.
And he's going to take the 2.
No, he's just sacking to go get a 2.
Sure, I think he's.
Oh no, he took the 2 life.
He's
You're right.
take the 2 life.
He was tapping the land and then he undid it. Okay. So what's our birds turning into? Elvish Visionary, or we passed 2 of them now, so probably not. Looks like Thalia. Well, that's not going to do it against Dragon.
Yeah, that's not going to stop Dragon. I mean, obviously...
We might just be dead next turn.
His 1s and 2s, I mean, turning a 1 into a 2 is nothing impressive in Birthing Pod. Yeah. You know, he has the option of Elvish Visionary. I don't know, does he have a Strangleroot Geist in his deck at all?
I don't think he even has 1. I was looking down. He doesn't have 1.
So this doesn't even turn Bonfire off so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the most important cards in these green mirrors is Bonfire of the Damned, and that's live now.
Well, he'd have to cast it for 1. He can't cast it for 2.
Sure.
With the Thalia in play. But Darwin doesn't know that Devin's not playing a Bonfire or anything.
We see a Cavern of Souls. I'm going to assume that Angel is named, but we'll get confirmation on that shortly.
Yep.
But yeah,
Angel.
okay, it is Angel as it typically is. So there is a Restoration Angel that he does have to be aware of.
I'm loving the drumming fingertips.
Yeah, the drumming fingertips. How bad am I going to get you?
Drum the fingertips. Boom.
Dagron. As if there was any other play to be made.
Yep.
Oh, we got a reader. We have a reader.
Not the first time Thundermaw Hellkite has been read during my commentating. I'm sure not the first during yours.
Eric Froelich had to play against this round 4, round 5, and yeah, he was like, what does that do? Sweet God.
Well, Darwin's like, yeah, this is not good.
Yeah, I'm attacking.
I like that attack.
You're a fan of that? Good. You're also a fan of Stringer, where guys staying back to the first striker?
I mean, you know, if you're going to play, you're going to play.
Restoration Angel predictably comes into play. Yep. No surprise there. And the race is kind of on right now.
We can get a Geist Honored Monk, but that's not going to be effective against the second Thundermaw Hellkite.
Yeah, you think you're ready. You think you know, but you have no idea. This is the diary of Thundermaw Hellkite. And if you get that reference, you are old.
I do.
Yeah, if you get that reference, you are old. So now it's decision-making time. Now, even though Thundermaw Hellkites are coming, and there's already one in play and there's another one coming that Darwin doesn't know about, he still has an active pod.
Yeah. Active pod and Township now.
Yeah, and he has Township now. So it's not like this game is over, even though there's Thundermaw Hellkites on the horizon.
I mean, it's probably over, but it's not like Darwin knows that.
Sure.
We're going to block.
Stringer Geist is going to want to get his block in there.
Seems fine.
If you want to activate Township, by all means, feel free to do that.
That just
I'll get my
kills
Geist
me.
back.
Yeah. Like, probably not going to do that. Or we're going to just... I feel like we're going to go for the Geist Honored Monk. Like, that's what I see myself doing if I were Darwin here.
And you feel like you'd be relatively safe?
That's going to just wind up punishing him. I can't think of another option. Like, he can go for the Zealous Conscripts and go get a 6, but his only 6 is Wormcoil Engine, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he can get Thragtusk to gain 5 life. I don't feel like that's especially good, even though he can do it. As weird as that seems.
It makes it so he doesn't die to another Thundermaw Hellkite. And then it presents a 5
sure,
body
but it doesn't feel like it's that likely that he would even die to a Thundermaw Hellkite.
He does have to lose his Restoration Angel, too, to do that. That's going to get a Blade Splicer.
Blade Splicer.
And then we'll see what his follow-up is going to be, but this, I mean, it looks like
I don't think he has a play other than Oblivion Ring that keeps him alive, and he only has one of those.
Okay, so it looks like second Thundermaw Hellkite's going to get it done.
Yep. Devin leaning forward, a little anxious, ready to go.
He's ready. Can I untap? Can I untap, please?
Burninate you.
I have some interest in untapping. There's our Golem token.
And that's not Oblivion Ring mana.
For
another Thalia. Alright, well, that's not going to get it done here.
Untap Skipoos.
I want to know if we're going to drum fingertips again, personally.
Okay.
I feel like no. I feel like we're just going to do it.
We're going to play our land.
Oh, that's dead.
Survey quickly. All right. Dead you.
Boom.
Provided he attacks with both. Okay.
I like that attack too. Oh, we're thinking.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
He's a cavern. It's like not even.
Whoa.
I guess he's thinking maybe his opponent, my opponent is Dismember and can just kill me on the swing back, but he has 2 blockers, so that doesn't seem very reasonable.
I mean, Dismember kills him anyway.
Yeah, like, I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, Dismember just kills him anyway. I mean, it surveyed really quickly just to make sure he couldn't lose, which is fine. Dismember puts him down to 4, and then Dragon kills him, so Dismember is not now.
I see a lot of people miss that one, though. That was one of the things to bring up. In feature matches, I've definitely seen people, like, they're playing around gut shots and Dismembers in weird spots when the life total, like, the change will kill them, the opponent.
Sure.
But they don't think about it that way, you know. They think about, if this threat gets removed, I don't have the amount of damage I'm looking for.
Sure.
And I think that's like a human brain shortcut kind of thing, you know. Like, you've trained yourself to, like, look for one specific thing. And so when you reintroduce something new to the equation, you don't change all of the variables, you just change the one.
No, that's definitely true. That sort of thing
does an easy mistake.
Now we're going to look at the sideboard as Devin is up a game, so I'm going to take a look at his sideboard really quickly. He is set up pretty well with his main deck against Green Mirrors because he does have Bonfire. He also does have Thundermaw Hellkites, which he smashed Darwin with that game. But looking into his sideboard, he does have 2 Sword of Feast and Famine, which are reasonable. 2 Pillar of Flames to keep the mana accelerants at bay, so he doesn't get out of, so that Darwin does not get out of control too quickly. He also has another Wolfir Silverheart, and you will find 2 Zealous Conscripts in his board. An interesting card, 4 interesting cards actually in his sideboard, are the 2 Ancient Grudges. And if you guys were here earlier at the show, earlier in the broadcast, excuse me, we don't really like Ancient Grudge against Birthing Pod decks, because if they don't draw Birthing Pod, then you've basically mulliganed, and if you draw Ancient Grudge too late into the game, like after 1 or 2 pod activations, it's fairly irrelevant as well.
If you incorporate it as an aggressive sword-based plan, like, it's a reasonable tool to bring in Ancient Grudges because it does kill Golem tokens in addition to the Birthing Pods.
Okay.
But I would only do that if my plan is to sword up guys.
Okay.
And because he only has 1 Sword of War and Peace and the 2 Sword of Feast and Famines, I don't think that that's a good plan.
Okay. And
if we were the 4 Sword of War and Peace version, perhaps.
Sure, that would make a little more sense. The other card that's interesting is Grafdigger's Cage, just because it's very good against Birthing Pod, but it falls into the same equation.
Yeah, same. So narrow. It's not proactive with my game plan. Like, I'm not a big fan of
It's not the angle that you want to be attacking from. How about Darwin?
Darwin is actually looking real grim over here, guys. his sideboard has a Bonfire of the Damned that I imagine he'll bring in. And he has some Oblivion Rings, which might be okay. He has Mortar Pod, kind of okay. Acidic Slime, kind of okay. His sideboard is really dedicated to different opponents than the one he is facing. He's got like 3 Plummets, 2 Natural Ends, 4 Celestial Purges.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he came to game, but he's not with Darwin.
If you're playing zombies, you are dead.
Yeah,
most likely.
So that has probably worked out well for him. There have been a number of black decks performing well. I believe Zombies is one of our undefeated decks, actually. Luckily, they did not run into Darwin, I imagine.
Yeah, that would. I mean, obviously they're undefeated, so it looks as though they probably didn't. But I mean, these mirrors are interesting. Typically, what I have found through my play of green-red online is that it's very bonfire-based. I mean, the first thing that you want to do is keep them off of their mana accelerants, of course, so you don't get too far behind due to Silver Hearts and that sort of thing. So that's where, just a hard cast Bonfire for 1 or Pillar of Flame really shines. But when you're behind or the board's fairly even, that's when it's Miracle Bonfire time, and hopefully those things do occur.
Sure.
But, it's more of who has more Bonfires of the Damned and who has more Wolf or Silver Hearts. Looking at my deck list, I have 4 Bonfire of the Damned here for Devin, and I have 1 Wolf for Silver Heart main and 1 in the board, so it's going to have 2 after. For yours?
1 Bonfire of the Damned in the main and 1 in the sideboard. As for getting big, we have the 1 Wolfear Silverheart in the main deck, and we have no Wolfear Silverhearts. Or, sorry, 1 in the sideboard and no Wolfear Silverhearts in the main deck.
Okay.
Wurmcoil Engine is like our big symmetry breaker, I guess, that we can get to, and Elish Norn if we can make it to the top.
Sure,
but that's going to be tough in post-boarded games especially.
Okay. It's going to be interesting, because, I mean, right here, Devin has some cards that aren't so good in the green mirror. He has 3 Rancors, not so great.
Yep.
Thragtusk
Blade Splicer.
Yeah, Thragtusk is okay. Wolfer Avenger is okay, but once again, Wolfer Avenger is not very good against Blade Splicer. So he has some cards that he can remove, and he has definitely some cards he can put in. But as you said, on Darwin's side, he doesn't really have a lot of cards to shift in and out.
And what's worse is the few cards he does have are not especially high impact. Sure. Bonfire of the Damned is the one that seems like very good. Everything else is just like maybe a slight upgrade to whatever he's taking out.
Sure.
One of the easiest ways to win sideboarded matches is have high impact cards. Like when you draw your sideboard card, it should be affecting a lot about your game. Like it should be a card that's going to win you the game, and he doesn't have that many of them.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, once again, the advantage that Darwin has over Devin, of course, is that he has Birthing Pod in his deck and Devin doesn't. Now, that is one of the rare instances for me where I have seen a Birthing Pod player play Birthing Pod on turn 2 and then just, like, not win.
Yep.
Yeah, like, he just, like, I can activate it if I want to, and he just lost anyway.
It's a Thundermaw Hellkite's world, and we're all just living it.
That looks to be the case. As good as Restoration Angel is, it is not good enough to beat that guy.
I really like that guy's doing well. He was one of my favorite cards, and I saw him spoiled. And it amazed me because people said he was bad. Because it's like, you guys don't remember, like, we played Rorik's Bladewing at one point in our lives. Yeah, like, that was a real card.
5 mana 5/5 Haste Flyer is never bad. And the fact that it has an ability tacked onto it that is positive, there's no way that card's ever going to be bad. It's just, what is the correct home for that card?
That ability is actually going to be super positive post-rotation, too, when Lingering Souls will remain one of the most powerful cards in the format. Thundermaw Hellkite is an excellent counter to Lingering Souls.
And as minor as it may seem, these green decks really do rely on their mana accelerants to be able to operate.
Yep.
Especially with the versions that cut Borderland Ranger. So, they have to, those mana accelerants need to live. So killing a Bird of Paradise may seem minor, but that can choke someone on mana so they can't cast their 5-drop, or they can't Miracle Bonfire the Damned for enough, or, they can't Green Sun Zenith for Wolf or Silver. Those things matter.
Yep.
So, as we're watching them both mulligan to 6, the kind of nice thing here, Glenn, is that green decks do tend to mulligan fairly well.
Yeah. I remember one of my favorite quotes from Pro Tour Barcelona was the match between Alex Hayne and Finkel. They both were like, the 7th card's kind of extra anyway, right? Like,
sure.
Yeah, you only really need 6.
Man, if you can operate at 6, you're better than me. That's for sure. That 7 card's not extra to me. I need that. But I mean, as they both mulligan here for hopefully reasonable hands, so we can see a rather entertaining game. I think playing first is a pretty big deal in these matchups. You want to get ahead, with your mana accelerants. You want to get Birthing Pod active as fast as you can and just get to Wolf or Silverheart as quickly as you can. Darwin may only have 1, but 1 is typically good enough to get it done.
I can't remember the last time I saw Wolf or Silverheart actually die in a green mirror.
Yeah, so, it doesn't happen.
As long as you can get him into play, it's fine. It looks like Darwin took a nice relaxing drink of soda. So Ready to fight, maybe? No. Oh, we're still tanking. That's a tanker's. Oh, we kept. All right.
Lanes we're leading off with. Interesting.
So we kept a hand, I assume, with no one-drop accelerator or no green source. I hope it wasn't no green source. That seems a little looser, but...
Yeah. And I don't know if you caught in Devin's hand, but you are going to find an Ancient Grudge in his hand, which is something we talked about.
I guess that's his choice. Maybe it's because he really wants to get through those Blade Splicers. Ooh, that's not what we wanted to draw. I would probably only go for that Miser's Ancient Grudge.
Yeah.
We've been punished. We got a Rancor, I think, in our hands as well. Is that what that is? Interesting. I'm wondering when he boarded out now, because I feel like the Rancors would have been where I looked.
This is going to be interesting now. This is going to be a Zenith for a Strangler Geist, more than likely. This is going to be interesting now, because if he doesn't draw Birthing Pod or if he doesn't draw Blade Splicer, it's essentially as though he mulliganed twice.
Yeah. With
those Ancient Grudges, and that's quite the risk to take.
Well, on the upside, Darwin's keep really strongly implies a Blade Splicer. I don't think you can keep any no green, like, no starting hand without a Blade Splicer.
Sure. You'd like to think that he has a spell to cast.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the only one that's going to be like high impact on turn 3. So
sure.
I would be expecting a Blade Splicer if I were Devin. Obviously, he didn't have that information when he kept his hand, but it looks like he'll probably wind up getting paid based on it. Or I should say paid, because he's still trading half of a bad card for half of a better card.
Sure. So we would presume, okay, there's green mana, so that's fairly good. Now here's Blade Splicer.
Yep.
So this Ancient Grudge is going to look a lot better.
Probably drew that thicket. We do have a Birds in our hand over there, it looks like, and Geist Honored Monk.
Yeah, I saw Geist Honored Monk as well get shuffled through.
We know that Geist Honored Monk is not the saving grace we might expect it to be.
Huntmaster is the draw step for Devin this turn.
Ancient Grudge, Rancor. I think Alanor Elves is the second card in from the left, but I'm not 100% on that one.
Let's see what the play is this turn. It looks like it's going to be an Ancient Grudge to start.
Yep.
Okay.
Expected.
He's going to get in here for 2. And then I'll probably just play a... You said there was a Llanowar Elf there?
Yeah, he doesn't have a land. Yep, Llanowar Elves. God, I'm so good.
Yeah, genius. Absolute genius. If they paid for being able to see people's cards in their hand, you'd be rich. You were right about that. Borderland Ranger is what we're going to see here.
I like that he chose to Borderland Ranger. Need to get some mana, and I like that he went for a mountain. He didn't get tempted into getting like forest and playing his birds, because that play is just real loose.
Yeah, I mean if that bird gets killed,
yep,
and things are off for you. But at the same time, you know, he does have Geist Hunter Monk in his hand, so he does need to draw land to be able to cast it. So
he also knows that Devin is land light, so he really just wants to develop, start playing his more powerful spells. If your opponent's stuck dropping little guys and can't play anything serious, you just want to be dropping awesome threats and killing them.
Yep. Draw a card. No bonfire.
Zealous Conscripts.
Not a bad draw.
Not a bad draw, but not a castable draw either.
Huntmaster is still fairly threatening right now.
Yeah, Huntmaster's very reasonable. It'll let you take advantage of the fact that you don't have any more spells, really. You can just let it flip, start doing some damage. I suppose Rancor is slightly defensible here. I don't really like it that much, though. I'd rather just attack first. I think we're going to attack and play a Huntmaster is my feeling.
I feel like that's what's going to happen, too. And if he left Blade Splicer black, then he should be... I'm interested... That play I don't like very much at all.
He should have either attacked or be blocking.
Yeah, he should either be attacking or blocking. No attack, no block. You're not getting anything out of your card.
A magic lesson I got in my early days from one Christopher Fennell. Oh. I'm not going to block. I'm attacking.
Yeah, I'm attacking, yes. I'm going to take my point of damage where I can get it.
Once I learned to start calling those, my win rate increased significantly.
So we're going to untap here. A 5th land is rather important. Also, Bonfire is live here for Darwin, even though he only has 1. It's rather good right now.
Throwing a wolf token over there. A real one. An SCG wolf token. I love that wolf token. It's sweet looking.
Draws his card. Not what we were looking for.
I think I saw an Elvish Visionary getting shuffled around in there.
Oh, you drew the 5th land.
We have Visionary, Geist Honored Monk, Birds of Paradise, and another card. We're casting Geist Honored Monk. We know our opponent does not have the capacity to cast a Thundermaw Hellkite, so we've got that going for us.
Right now, however, we have that going for us.
If he peels a land, both Thundermaw Hellkite and Bonfire of the Damned are really bad. Bonfire would just wipe him.
Yeah, Bonfire clears him. Thundermaw Hellkite clears the tokens, which basically makes Geist a much worse card.
I still think I like this play from Darwin just because he has to start getting aggressive. Like, he needs to win the game. His opponent's not going to be mana screwed for forever. That's just true.
Sure, I mean, that's definitely true. You know, I don't dislike his play, but there's a lot that can go wrong for him this turn.
Huntmaster. That was actually a very awkward draw for Devin because it's one of the more powerful spells he can cast on a turn when there's reasonable incentive to not casting a spell.
Yeah, I mean, I could see not casting a spell, flipping his Huntmaster, you know, shooting down maybe a Spirit token, or shooting down the Borderland Ranger.
I think you have to get the Borderland Ranger so that your Bonfire will still kill everything. Because if you Gavany Townships next turn, you can't Bonfire for 2 anymore.
Sure.
To get everybody. And his hands, well, I mean, I guess...
I mean, he's still going to
I guess if you have the
Bonfire.
4/4, you're okay. I don't know, you're ahead in the race, but yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a Bonfire, because this is all pretty moot.
Sure.
He has to peel both land and Bonfire, but Darwin doesn't know that, so Darwin's probably a little more frightened.
Yeah, I mean, probably on edge. I mean, things can definitely spiral out of control rather quickly. He's just going to pass. Things can spiral out of control here. Let's see what he targets. Okay, he's going to target Blade Splicer, which is...
Okay. I would not target that one mostly because if my opponent has Restoration Angel, it's so grim.
Yeah, it's a giant blowout.
Yeah, it's the worst of all the possible things. We have the Ancient Grudge that we can blow, but it's still just like yucky.
You know, I don't think that there are like a lot of good targets out there. If you're worried about Restoration Angel, you're going to kill a Spirit token.
Yep.
I mean, because you can't target Borderland Ranger because Gavany Township is on the board. So, Blade Splicer is maybe the best target there. I guess Spirit token may be better.
I like Spirit Token personally because the Gavany Township is going to make them so much more threatening in the air while that Geist Honored Monk holds the ground. But I don't know what Devin's plan is. If Devin is trying to play to peel a Bonfire, then leaving the Spirits around is fine. If he's trying to play to peel, I don't know, I guess Bonfire is pretty much it.
Yeah.
What else are we doing? We have another Huntmaster, so that clock is not that impressive. The Geist Honored Monk can't afford to attack. At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough of a war.
As soon as those Spirits make it to 3/3, though, I think this game's over. That's just my layman's opinion.
Well, if they make it in time, he's just going to cast Elvish Visionary.
That was aggressive. I would really rather just spend this turn growing than casting a Visionary. Are we? No, we're not passing. Okay.
Yeah, that's a pass.
Wow, he just drew Copperline Gorge, though, didn't he? Like, did he? Oh, he played a land already, I think.
Yeah, he played a Gavany Township.
My bad. I didn't notice that he had a third one. Yeah,
sure, he should have cast a spell first before doing any... yeah, he should have cast Visionary first before doing anything.
Yep, definitely. I know that personally from his WoW TCG experience, that's a Patrick Sullivan pet peeve. TM.
Sure. Yeah, you must draw your card first. Get your information. Get your information before you decide what land you're going to play. So now decisions. This Rancor is still here. And I mean, you can tell just by watching this particular game why Rancor isn't very good in the sideboard of games. At no point was casting this ever going to be very good.
It's just something to do.
Yeah, like it's just +2/+0 and trample is nice. You can make your flipped Huntmaster into a 6/4. Whee! That's great, but...
Well, that appears to be what we're actually doing. I imagine we're going to Rancor here, attack and offer a trade with Geist Honored Monk, and then play another Huntmaster is probably what he's thinking. But yuck.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Geist Honored Monk, I'm willing to trade. I believe I'm willing to trade.
On 12, I think we just have to.
Yeah, I don't think you can afford to go to.
Oh, he's gonna. No, you don't play the Huntmaster first. That gives him too much information. I don't like this.
He may just not be attacking.
If he's not attacking, I guess that's fine. But if you're not attacking, I don't really know what you're doing here. That Geist Honored Monk will just become out of control so soon. Like I said, those guys make it to 3/3. This one's done.
I think he's going to pass back, flip down his Huntmaster. Is what it looks like.
The problem is that we're playing to stabilize a board where we're not even like really ahead. The Township puts Darwin in the driver's seat, even though he's on a lower life total. He has to play cautiously, right? But he has the better dudes. The Huntmasters will be sweet if we can just start flipping them back and forth. I think that's probably our best plan here.
Go ahead.
Sorry. If Darwin had Township last turn, he'd be able to get his stuff out of range of the flipping Huntmasters.
Yes.
Like, he would need to target both triggers on the same creature to start really killing stuff, which would be pretty good.
Look what we found.
Uh-oh. That's a lot of manners.
This is...
Bonfire?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is
so ugly.
This is all the things going to the graveyard. Watch all of the things
is he just
going to the
dead?
graveyard.
He feels really close.
Yeah,
No, he's at 26. But I mean, the game is probably
just
over.
Dead
yeah.
for all intents and purposes. He gets a Stringer Root dice back. He has no mana. Everything. No.
The only way Devin can peel a bonfire back and mop the board.
Yes, it could be a battle of the bonfires. But this is what the
so
green-based
bad.
mirrors are based on.
We have to chump the Geister Monk and try to peel a bonfire. I feel like that's our only real line. Or we could take its damage, but that feels excessive. That's a lot of damage. I'm not wholly against that play. It's just a little riskier than I would run. Like, the problem is that the hand has no action. Wait, did we not pick up our Rancor? I think that Rancor's still in the... Is that a Lana Worlds? I don't know.
That's a Lana Worlds.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I thought he only had 2 red... Oh, he has the 3rd card hidden. I see it now. I only saw 2 cards in his hand and I was worried.
Chump blocking is okay. Chump blocking on Geist. I mean, if our plan is to bonfire him for 2 and peel, then I wouldn't be chump blocking at all.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm
kill
saying.
Everything.
All right,
but you have to craft a plan.
He didn't block, so I think that plays fine. I would block if I had a spell, but I don't. So, well, we drew that card really fast. Well, that's a bad card. We can cast none of our spells except for the Rancor. Cast that Rancor. You won't.
Yeah, which is not the best of turns. See, this is what happens in the green mirrors. This is what I talked about at the top of this game. It's just, you can get yourself in these board stalls really easily. And Darwin has a great way to break these board stalls because he has Pod, because he has Township, but also because he has Bonfire the Damned.
Yeah.
And even though he was what I would say is like a little bit behind, I mean, it's going to catch you up in no time, which it just showed you there. It can do.
I think the game was really close. I think, like, if you're either player, I don't think either player knew whether they were ahead or behind. Like, I think it was, you had to know your opponent's hand to know the truth.
Sure.
Which was kind of awkward.
And now, Devin, you can see, he's assessing some things about, like, what happened that game, what took place. And, if I'm him, based off of what I've lost to that game, I drew 2 Ancient Grudges that game, and they were not good.
Yep.
They were not good that game. And
I feel like that's what he's legitimately thinking right now. He's clearly, like, considering, like, man, what happened? Like, what did I do? Did I do anything wrong? That spell wasn't very good. That's like the face. Like, I really feel.
Like the Rancor that I have in my hand, that like I kind of kept my hand, based off of that Rancor. I didn't do anything.
Nope.
That didn't help me to win at all. And I don't think that's what this matchup is about.
I think you're being a bit rough on him there. I mean, the Rancor did let him flip his Huntmaster.
Touche. I missed that one. I always do.
But yeah, I agree. I think Devin probably has not played a lot against this matchup, I would assume, and maybe using it as a learning experience. They say tournaments, not the best play testing, but it is always good play testing.
I mean, you're going to learn something.
Yeah.
I promise you
will
that
learn.
You will learn something. But this just goes to show, like, you can talk about all of the cards in these matchups. You can talk about the birds and the elves and how important the mana elements are. You can talk about how powerful Birthing Pod is in this matchup, and if it goes unchecked for a little while, what it can do. You can talk about all of these cards and how powerful they are. The most powerful card in this matchup is Bonfire the Damned.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. If you're behind, it's going to catch you up just like it did for Darwin. If you're ahead, the game is over.
Every time.
Every time, the game is over. That's why these green decks, that's why I'm such a huge proponent of it. If you are playing a deck with green and red mana, if you're Nyapod, if you're Rug Pod, whatever, this is how you get your legs up in the mirror. And it's just too important, and the card is too important and too swingy not to have 4 copies of it.
Yeah. You're just really, we've talked a lot. I know I talk about it a lot because I love to, but getting lucky, like, you can only get lucky when you try. I know it doesn't make any sense, but like, you have to run the bonfires. If you want to bonfire people, you have to be the person with bonfires.
Yes.
Like,
you can complain about getting bonfired, but if you play bonfires, you have the opportunity to bonfire someone and just win the game. Now, what Devin doesn't know, and we're not going to tell him this, is that Darwin only has 1 bonfire, and it's in his sideboard.
He has 1 and 1.
Oh, he has 1 and 1? Okay,
so yeah,
right.
He was 2 outed.
Okay, so he was 2 outed, not 1 outed.
I doubt that would make him feel better.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I know if it was me, it wouldn't make me feel any better. But I take things the wrong way all the time.
All the time, yeah. Magic's hard. That's a difficult game.
No one said it was easy. I've been told it's a skill game. I've been known to tell people it's a skill game.
No, it is also funny to me. People criticize Bonfire or Miracle Mechanic in general as like really variance-inducing. They think of the games as all variance, but like when a Miracle wins you the game, it didn't win you the game because you got lucky. It won you the game because you put it in your deck.
Yes.
That's not lucky. Like, you chose to play that card. It comes with pros and cons. You enjoy the cons. You enjoy the pros.
Yes.
Like, those are the truth.
This is one of the times that you enjoyed the pros.
The Miracle Mechanic is the most accurate manifestation of one of my favorite maxims. That was a lot of M sounds.
Yes.
Which is, we put the cards in our deck so we can draw them.
That's correct. That's
Literally draw them.
Correct. He drew it that game, and the game ended on the spot. That's part of the reason that you play that card in your deck.
Yep. And deck building is a skill. That is probably, I'm sure there are a number of people who would argue, is the greatest skill in Magic. I don't think that that's true right now in Standard. I think you make choices, but I think your type play is going to get you a lot farther. The stock lists are pretty strong. All the cards are so powerful that even your minor mistakes don't really get punished that often in deck building.
Sure.
But your technical play, you mess up that, you will be punished because your opponent's cards are so strong. They'll take you out of the game.
Yeah, that you can't afford to make a mistake. When the cards are as strong as they are in Standard right now, when cards are like Bonfire the Dam, Delver, Secret Snapcaster Mage, you have to manage your resources correctly. You know, you have to maximize your mana, all sorts of things of that nature in order to win now.
You have to win the games you're not supposed to win, and make sure you don't give away any of the ones you are.
That's true. And it's nice to have, as they both mulligan to 6 right now,
Again.
It's nice to see, you know, Bonfire is a card that lets you win the games you're not supposed to win. And that may sound a little bit stupid, but I think it's healthy to have cards like that.
Yeah, it's very healthy. Variance is in fact a part of Magic. We all know this, and people criticize it or complain or whatever, but it's definitely something that's important. And it's also just important at every level. You want people to have these swinging games. Like, these are the games people are excited about, or the games they talk otherwise about, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, so it's good.
So they're both going to go to 6 here. Once again, you know, the beginning stages of the game, as far as what's important, you know, you want to get off the ground fairly quickly with your mana accelerants. That's what both players want to accomplish. Devin's side, he wants to get an early pod out and active so he can get things off and rolling with Birthing Pod and that form of card advantage. For Devin, you know, it's just super important for him. Bonfire is the most important card that he's going to have in his deck. Fortunately, he has 4 copies. And also, he has the 2 copies of Wolfers Silver 2 that he's going to want to get to. Hopefully, and the way that we saw him thinking in between games, he realized that I don't need to be Ancient Grudging him. Yeah. I don't need to be Rancoring him. There are other avenues to victory that I can take that are much more consistent.
Darwin's playing the deck that's designed to generate incremental value with trades like that, not Devin.
Yes.
Darwin has more cards that are relevant in the matchup, I want to say, but he has less of the one that matters, and the cards he has, like Birthing Pod, they're important, but they're not as high impact, and Devin's Bonfires will trump them, which is most important.
Agreed. And he starts with Llanowar Elf here.
Oh, still have a Rancor.
Still have a Rancor, which I don't like.
I think we have 2. I think we might have 2. I mean, if Darwin stumbles, we might be able to get out there, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. His hand is Birds, Pilgrim, Zealous Conscripts, and another card, right?
Yeah, and another mystery card. I mean, we'll see what happens. Double Rancor can potentially steal a game.
It can steal a game, especially if he peels a Bonfire against this Birds, Avacyn's Pilgrim hand.
Yeah,
that'll get him real good.
Put the game away.
Cavern on Birds is the good funny one, too.
You're not going to get much use out of that Cavern.
We're going to get 2 uses out of that Cavern.
Alright, so here comes
Stranglegeist. I think that's what I thought was the second Rancor, okay. So I think we might not be in as grim a shape as I thought.
We're going to Rancor this. We're going to get in for 4.
Well, that's a nice little clock.
I mean, it's a clock, but there are too many ways for the Birthing Pod deck to be able to handle that clock. Something super simple as Blade Splicer is going to be able to take care of that.
Yep.
We are on the 1-drops. This is a risky hand for someone that has 4 Bonfires in this deck.
Yep.
Bonfire is
and Thunderbolt Hellkites even.
Yeah, Bonfire is game over at any point in this game. Ooh, I thought that was it.
Oh, it was an Ancient Grudge. We have been righteously punished once again.
There's the mulligan we've been talking about. I mean, yes, it takes care of a Blade Splicer, which would be good here. Yes, it's going to take care of Birthing Pod, but
it might wind up even being good just because of the specific kind of hand Darwin may have kept, you know? which is awkward because that's going to be one of those moments where a card that is pretty debatable gets reinforced in a positive way.
Yeah.
Very dangerous thing to have happen.
It could be detrimental to future matches of Magic.
I know I've read from a number of writers, I'm sure, most recently from Flores, it's like one of the worst things that can happen is when you win a game by making a bad play.
Sure.
It just can be so detrimental to your growth as a player.
You see 3 mana?
Zenith, I'm calling it. I know he has a Zenith. I'm cheating.
Okay, yeah.
So I just didn't tell you.
I don't even know why they let me in the booth if you know what's going to happen. I don't know what the heck they did flying me out here for this, because I don't know anything. But this is going to get another Strangleroot, guys. I mean, the pressure is on. It is, of course, Darwin needs to catch up and catch up quickly.
Yep. And Bonfire's not going to do it for him.
Yeah, and Bonfire is certainly not going to catch him up. I mean, he has the cards to do it. A card like Thragtusk is fantastic right now.
Sure. Need to buy some time, find some lands, have your opponent not draw Bonfire or Thundermaw Hellkite.
I mean, these
are all tall orders.
He's not in an enviable spot, but these are things that can happen. That's an attack for 7, which will put him at 9 if there's no blockers.
I imagine he can't afford to block with the 1 land. It's so grim, though. That's the only mana producer he'll get to keep if he gets Thundermaw Hellkited.
That's true.
Devin realistically threatening lethal in the next turn. Darwin knows there are a number of cards that could kill him. I think those cards are probably going to kill him whether he blocks or not, even if he gets another turn off the clock.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, one of the cards that's going to slow him down, that's going to stop Thundermaw Hellkite from being an out, is if he does trade with Llanowar this turn. That makes that stops that line of play from losing to that, which is
reasonable.
Reasonable. And I mean, he's obviously contemplating that for this entire turn. Ooh, okay. I did not expect that block. Blocking at the normal Strangleroot Geist?
Whoa, that was curious and curiouser. I guess now we're deciding to draw a Bonfire of the Damned, one of our 2.
You didn't.
Based on how he peeled that card, I think that was our plan.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to block any of them, I think you would block the one with trample, right? So he has to cast Rancor next turn? Is that wrong?
I guess.
He does get to trample over for damage.
You lose a damage, but...
Mana, this.
This is going to be really awkward.
Yeah.
Devin's just going to keep applying pressure. He doesn't really have to do anything else. He has
not a
bonfire there. I see that he has the Ancient Grudge. I think he has a Huntmaster now. I think that's what he drew. He's a quick shuffler. Which is a good skill, incidentally, for those of you watching the broadcast. Shuffle the card you draw into your hand very quickly, so your opponent won't be able to figure out how you're organizing your hand, etc., etc.
Do you feel like Rancor is winning this game? Like, just incidentally?
Yes, incidentally is the exact word I was going to say.
Okay, because that's how I feel right now.
Perhaps,
yeah, that's exactly how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Like, just based off of, like, Darwin's draw of, like, I've had to cast Mana Dorks every game, so I've done nothing. So I'm being, like, punished by the Rancor draw.
And that's the funny thing is, like, a lot of cards will win games when your opponents aren't really playing Magic, you know? Darwin has not progressed to the playing Magic stage of Magic. So,
sure.
Like,
I mean,
Devin has.
Here is just like...
It's all grim. There's nothing good going on here. All of our plays suck.
I mean, if he wants to turn... see, I don't like that one either.
Now we double block? No, because now we can't draw the Bonfire. What are we doing?
Because now we can't turn on Bonfire.
We definitely blocked the Trampling guy to turn on our Bonfire peel. I mean, we've only got a 2-outer, but when you only have a 2-outer, that just means you got to draw your 2-outer.
Yeah, I mean, he drew one of his 2-outers last time, and now that would be in play, so... If he draws Bonfire here, it's like not even... I mean, it's okay, but it's not great.
But he's going to 2 if he draws Bonfire now.
Yes.
One of the things the errors I see, and I cover a lot of matches, obviously, watch a lot of people play Magic, and one of the distinct errors I see people make a lot is they go for plays that let them die slower instead of maybe win.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a real split in a lot of people's choices. And dying slower is functionally the same as dying immediately.
Yes.
So,
death is death. That's an Oblivion Ring on that.
Yep, that's not gonna save us, so we're still dead on
Does
board.
Rancor come back for that?
Yeah, it comes
Yeah,
back.
It comes back, yeah.
Its Rancor triggers off of itself going to the graveyard,
Okay,
so
sure.
we are dead on board.
Yeah, we are actually facing down lethal on the table. Just one. I mean, he can cast Rancor or he can not cast it and flip his Huntmaster, but it's lethal either way.
Yep. Magic's real hard.
You know, I don't know what was in Darwin's hand very well outside of the Zealous Conscripts, but I just think that his resources were just very mismanaged this game.
I think he kept a hand with so many mana accelerants that he figured, I'll draw into some action and I'll be able to get ahead of him, but that never happened.
Sure.
And that was the problem.
I mean, even having a 3/3 body at one point would have been like,
yeah, very relevant.
Like very relevant.
Cast the Rancor. I like the play.
Cast the Rancor. Kill him. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
And Devin Nambiar.
That may lock Devin Nambiar into top 8.
He may be able to draw in the top 8 with green-red aggro, pushing him along to, what's the 10 rounder? So 8-1.
Yep.